This is the segment of the show that we call the IRS Train Wreck of the Week. The reason it's called that is because it's typically about somebody who's come into the office and their situation is just literally a train wreck, and after we work with them, they typically, so far every time, in every one of these segments, they've come out really, really good.
That's right, because they would not make the cut of the Train Wreck of the Week.
They would not, in fact, because I'm not here to be talking about bad train wrecks.
And today's train wreck's a little different, right? It's a review?
It is. Just a moment here. I had it up. So today is actually a review from a guy that I'm actually really proud to represent. He is an active duty major in the United States Army. He's had many tours of combat in both Iraq and Afghanistan. It's been a kind of a recurring theme lately. This is not the same guy that I've spoken about in the past. This particular gentleman came in with a letter. I believe it was a CP2000, and the IRS was proposing that he actually owed a little bit more than $24,000 in additional tax. And actually, the major was really helpful. He let me know that this particular tax would be in violation of a particular federal statute that dealing with U.S. service people, okay, because he was in combat for so long. And I quoted him a fee, and I signed him up. And then, I don't know if it was that day or the next day, I called. I thought I had been thinking about him, and he was in. Another thing you need to know about this gentleman is he's in chronic pain. He has had severe back injuries due to his time in the service and in combat, and he just really has to deal with chronic pain all the time. And I could tell. You could tell when you met him that he was in a great deal of pain, and we talked about it for quite some time. Well, about a day or two after we signed him up, I gave him a call, and I said, I'm going to go ahead and take care of this case pro bono because, you're a hero in my eyes, and because you went overseas and fought for us, then that meant that I didn't have to, and we can be free and live in this country, this great country of ours. And so I wrote the letter, and we waited, and it took about 14 weeks. But he sent me a message on Facebook on Saturday or Sunday. I think it was Sunday, actually. And he let me know that the IRS had completely zeroed out that tax liability because of this really relatively simple thing that I did for him. And, I knew that it would make a big difference in his life because on an Army major salary, $24,000 is a lot of money. And it was really unfair. And it really kind of made me angry, to be honest with you, that this gentleman, I think he had served like 8 combat tours.
Wow.
In our government, the same government that writes his paycheck wants another $24,000. And it just kind of made me mad. And it just made me decide that, he needed somebody to stick up for him, and I just happened to be that guy in that particular circumstance.
So what did he say to you?
Well, I'm going to try and read this. I don't know if we have enough time, but I'll read this review. It says, I feel that review writing is important for only 2 reasons: to warn consumers to avoid a certain product or service provider that they are below standard, or to provide accolades as a result of exceptional service or satisfaction that goes way beyond the average. I'm honored to say that the law offices of Darrin T. Mish, to include his staff, fit into the latter of the two. So without going into finite detail, the IRS contacted me with their belief that he owed a bunch of money. Okay, I just got the word. I only have a minute. So basically, he says, in conclusion, that there will be service providers that are worth mentioning and even rate being referred to with confidence. The law offices of Darrin T. Mish, their business ethics and abilities, and Darrin's personal attributes go way beyond this level of honorary mention. Regardless of the amount and challenge, do not wait to address your problems with the IRS, as they aren't going away. Most importantly, to avoid later regrets, do not hesitate to contact Darrin Mish or his office if you're being questioned by the IRS. Exercise your right to resolve and allow the law offices of Darrin T. Mish to stand firm on your behalf.